Hello, my name is Matthias Sagari, and today I'm going to be talking about my passion project, which is about forensics and the actions I'm taking to help the activity. So first, we're going to analyze the roots of the problem and why more and more schools are kind of dropping these forensic programs. And for those who don't know what forensics is, it's basically the activities that we know of as debate and speech, which call for a lot of critical thinking and a lot of analytics. So first, in an article written by M.G. Klosko in the Huffington Post, No Public Speaking at Harvard, she pointed out that these top universities all across the country are dropping rhetorical courses from their from their schools and replacing them with these literary study classes. And basically what's happening is a trickle-down effect in which the top universities are no longer putting an importance on public speaking, and more colleges are following suit, and even some high schools are following this example. So that means just more and more schools aren't paying for these forensics programs or these public speaking classes, and students are simply missing out. Another problem was the 2008 recession. Now, a lot of us remember this time as a time of schools cutting a lot of money out of their budget and having to cut a lot of programs such as music programs and music classes and other classes within the school. And basically, the forensic programs such as debate and speech were some of the first classes to go and some of the first activities because schools simply didn't know how important this was to their children, and not many students really took part in these activities. So the 2008 recession is still lingering a little bit, and not many schools have reintegrated these programs, leaving a lot of students missing out. And the third problem as to why there's less and less people taking part in these programs is just overall less interest. Not enough attention is being brought to the activity. I mean, more and more schools really aren't putting an emphasis on kids taking part in these enriching critical thinking activities. And also, I mean, from my personal experience and seeing other people in the debate and speech community, the community has always been kind of labeled as uncool and kind of nerdy, and people simply just don't want to be surrounded by this or take part in this. But I met a lot of really great people through the debate and speech community, and it's definitely not like that at all. So now it's time to talk about my action. And what I ask other people is, how can we help grow these programs? So I've already been taking a couple steps as to help grow these programs all across the state of Minnesota. The first one is I've already been talking in close communications with the faculty over in the Bloomington Elementary School, public school system, kind of talking to the administration and trying to organize kind of an urban debate league amongst the different elementary schools. But this is kind of like a long time coming because the debate season doesn't start until fall, so there's no really way for sure to tell that the schools will go on board with this. But I've already been talking to a large chunk of the administration and making sure that this could possibly happen. Another thing that I've already been doing is I've been sending letters to important administration faculty all across Edina, urging them to bring more attention to these forensics programs and to increase the overall budget. I mean, speech is an extremely expensive activity. You have to pay for traveling fees and tournament fees, and all that adds up quite a lot, and sometimes coaches even have to put in their own money to help fund these programs, which is simply not acceptable. And more of the administration needs to take a better approach at funding these programs and making sure that more and more kids take part in these activities. And yeah, the last part is people simply just need to start taking part in these activities. I talked to a lot of seniors during the Passion Project Day, and a lot of them are going to colleges that have these public speaking programs such as debate and speech, and they can easily take part. A lot of it doesn't take that much out of your day and doesn't require a lot of time, but you can definitely meet some great people. So, next here's a little snippet of an email that I sent to Dr. Locklear. It's a lot longer than this. I talk about the different benefits and how we can help grow these programs, but this is just a little kind of synopsis of what it was. So basically what I'm urging Dr. Locklear to do is to increase the funding and bring attention to these activities. Edina actually used to have an amazing speech and debate program, but over the years, less and less people have been taking part, and the school is simply not putting as much emphasis on the activities as they once were. So we're kind of a shade of our former glory in a sense. So basically what I urge Dr. Locklear to do is just to increase the budget for these programs so we can have more and more people taking part without kind of putting strain on our coaches' wallets, and also to bring more attention, such as putting up posters, putting up flyers, and just urging people to take part in these activities. So, Now we're going to be talking about the benefits of speech, and if we were to implement what these kids can be experiencing. And a large part of debate and speech has to do with critical thinking. At the University of Oregon, in a study conducted in 2001, they found that people who take part in forensics actually have a massive increase in their critical thinking ability. Because a lot of debate and speech has to do with rationalizing and thinking on your feet, this greatly benefits students in how they think in their everyday life at school. Another important benefit of speech is the overall self-confidence you gain from taking part in the activity. It's an extremely enriching community that full of people that always want you to improve. Everyone is kind of on the same level to begin with at the beginning of the season. No one's kind of born with a natural talent to know about foreign politics or to know about philosophy. But as you continue to take part in the community, more and more people want to help you and bring everyone up to the same level, because it's not necessarily fun if there's only just a few good people and there's not that much competition. Another part of taking part in like a public speaking sort of activity is that no idea is really attacked within the community. People always kind of are accepting and don't really want to attack people on what they say in their speeches or in their debates, because we're basically all kind of friends and we're all on the same playing field. So with no ideas being attacked, more and more people are better at expressing their ideas and being confident in what they're saying. And a third part that's really important, I think, to the debate and speech community is that there's necessarily no teams. I mean, there is a team. At the end of the day, the points that are added up from the tournament do go to an overall team score, but it's more so about the individual and how you perform yourself that is important to you. It doesn't really matter how well your team performs, but if you get first place, then that's amazing for you, and that just really helps a lot of people gain self-confidence. Because if their team loses, they still might have a good day. And the third benefit to speech and debate is overall self-expression. Now, I read an article, I don't exactly remember where I read it, I think it was BBC or the New York Times, but social media has been taken on this new medium for people to self-express themselves over the internet. But as you can imagine, it's kind of hard to express yourself over your keyboard. So speech and debate really gives you this great medium for you to express your own emotions and your own inhibitions on a stage in front of other people who are in an accepting community. So you to be able to do that on kind of like a weekly basis is amazing, and not many people really have that opportunity. So yeah, forensics is basically just a new way for you to spread your ideas and your passions to a respectful community and to a respectful, accepting community. And I think it's just important. All three of these benefits are just really, really important for everyone to have. So yeah, that was my presentation on forensics. I hope I changed your mind on the whole spectrum of the program and activities, and yeah, thank you.